television. Oh, right, that's pretty easy. My go.
No.
Oh, a television programme. A television programme. I see. Two Ronnies. Two gentlemen of Verona. One Ronnie. One Ronnie. Oh. And Cilla Black.
Yes.
One Ronnie and Cilla Black.
The scent I got from David Frost was super, as was the fez I got from Tommy Cooper.
From Tarbuck and his mates, I got a box of dates. A picture of the Pope came signed from both of us, Jess Yates.
I got a new LP from Des O'Connor. The hat from Hattie Jakes looked better on her.
From Ronnie Barker, lots of Christmas pudding I got, with which she told me what I could do. I got a lot of things for Christmas, but all I ever wanted was you. All I really wanted was you.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me at once. He hosted the very last Christmas Night with the Stars 22 years ago in 1972. All that time has passed and the world has seen a lot of changes. The oil crisis, fax machine, the pulling down of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of Oliver Reed. But some things never change. I'm talking, of course, about the comic charm and genius, the fun, the frivolity, the friendliness of Britain's very own one Ronnie. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ronnie Corbett.
Well, thank you. Well, good evening. May I say, what a pleasure it is to be back in the old chair. Things have been, I have to be honest, things have been a little quiet recently. The phone hasn't rung for so long that when it did go off, my agent evacuated the building thinking it was an air raid. But he's a nice enough chap, my agent, and, quite saw him the other day just standing outside Marks and Spencer's. He briefly put down his bundle of the big issue and asked me how the antique shop was going. So, anyway, I would just like to say what a pleasure it is to work here with Brian Laurie. Very lovely. Hard to think, really, when you look at them, that they were once hinge and bracket, but there we are. Now, I can tell that the producer was so pleased to have me back that he has thrown a little party backstage, quite a sort of small affair, because he's rather mean. He buys his shoes in installments. First the left and then the right. And I say party. There wasn't much in the way of food and drink. I saw what I thought was a vol au vent, but it turned out a dog had been sick on a croissant. Which actually, we can't wait. We are in a bit of a hurry. Actually, which reminds me, fortunately, you say not too soon, of the story I'm supposed to be telling you. It concerns a man and his pregnant wife. And, by the way, a friend of mine's daughter was pregnant recently and elected to have her baby in a water bath. It was either that or the shower. Because the lift was full. But, of course, that's the cutbacks for you. There was a fellow in hospital the other week. The fellow in hospital the other week went out one afternoon to post the letter, and when he came back, the hospital was closed. Actually, they were going to close it earlier, but they were waiting for the Queen to come and open it. Now, I'm getting off the subject again. Now, there's this man and his pregnant wife, and they're in bed, and the wife suddenly yells in his ear. She said, "I can't get to sleep," she said. "It's your baby, keeping me awake all the time, kicking all the time." "Well, perhaps he's going to be a footballer," said the husband. "And punching," she said. "Well, perhaps he's going to play for Wimbledon." Now, then his wife has this incredible craving for snails. "Tony," she said. Tony, that was his, name. That was the husband's name, Tony. That, more than any other reason, is why she called him Tony. "Tony," she said. "Tony," she said, get me some snails." So up he gets. Goes to the shop, put on some clothes. You see, puts on clothes and then goes to the shop. One way or the other. Anyway, just to go out to the shops, then put on his clothes. Anyway, bigger laugh. Anyway, out he goes. I should have thought of that at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Anyway, out he goes in search of snails for his wife. By the way, I must tell you, I have found a great new way of shoplifting. I shouldn't be telling this. What I do is I go into a department store, I find a coat I like, and while the security guards aren't looking, I hide in the pocket. So he goes to an all-night party. He goes to an all-night snailery first. And there's one in every high street. And he buys his pregnant wife the snail she so craves. And he's walking home, rather like that. And he... a bit jaunty. And he meets... he meets an old friend, and they get talking. They end up in an all-night bar. He gets completely sloshed, and he enters the Des O'Connor karaoke competition, and comes first. And Des O'Connor comes second. By the way, I had a call the other day, I must tell you this, from the Westminster County Council, who, and they said, as you know, they said to me, the council did, as you know, or a spokesman for the council, rather than the whole council together, choral announcement. This particular spokesman said, as you know, every year we ask a special celebrity to turn on the lights in Oxford Street. And we were wondering, I said yes, he said, we were wondering whether you'd be prepared to nip in and turn them off on the way home. So Tony wins the karaoke, you see, and then he goes on to a nightclub where he dances the night away with a very beautiful girl, a redhead, and something to do with high blood pressure. What do I know? So he dances the night away, not like that, you know, dances the night away. That is dancing, that is... Anyway, dances the night away, and he ends up staggering... I'll get to the end of this if it kills me. Anyway, he ends up staggering home, completely smashed, at 5 in the morning, reeking of booze, the snails in his pocket, and as he walks down the garden path, the light comes on in the hall, and as the door opens to reveal his wife there, quick as a flash, he places the snails in a row on the path. See? And he looks down at them, he says, it's no use, he said. I'm going to have to pick you up and carry you the rest of the way. Ah, dear. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the master, Ronnie Corbett.
Through the years, we all will be together if the fates allow. Hang your shining star above the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Sale, the Will McCoy, Alan Partridge, Ramsey, Nesbitt, Felix Dexter, Sandy Shaw, Last Show, Ronnie Corbett, Christmas Night with the Stars, Community Service Big Band, and all the boys and girls who moved the campus about the studio floor and generally worn a huge amount of denim.
But most of all, of course, we'd like to thank you, the people of Britain, for watching tonight. Thank you. See you at the same time next year. Good night.